Hey, good morning, Ben with Studio on the Lake. This is a commission piece or pieces and kind of a composition of a couple different videos put together to see the end result. This is a set of blue-winged teals, a hen, and a drake. There is a video on the 100% of the carving of the hen. There's a video on the hen's head. The hen's on the left there. The drake is on the right. The drake just has a few sections in here, which you'll see, because it's basically the same process. There's the hen, all completed, burned, ready to go. That's how it starts out. Both of them, actually. This is that basswood that I have dried for several years, sitting out in another shed. Not much to look at, but pretty valuable if you try to buy a piece of that. You'd be surprised. These are not made from a reference pattern other than a photo that comes off the internet. It sits on a computer off the side of the screen there. Here the body is cut out. Again, this entire video right here is posted. Unfortunately, I misnamed it. I said it was a green winged teal. It actually turned out to be a blue winged teal. If you're into that sort of thing, there's a very little difference between the two of them, a little bit on the beak, and this is not a competition piece, therefore you'd be hard pressed to see the difference between them other than a little bit of minor painting. It's a quick overview of the last pass, the last burning pass on the hen. And this is prior to painting. I didn't get into the painting. There's total time carving the hen, probably 3 or 4 hours. Total time painting, again, about the same thing. A little bit longer on the drake there. His feathers are come up. And here's the drake. About, I don't know, a fourth finished. I'm getting ready to do the feathers that he's preening. So he's got his bill stuck underneath the feathers. One wing kind of stuck up in the air on the one side. And I'm just getting to the point where I'm starting to put the long wing feathers in. Like all of them burned and then stoned with a little ceramic stone. And then burned a couple more times to get the texture in there. There's real time of the burning process. This is pass number 1 on the feathers. I usually end up doing about 3, give or take. Those are little ceramic stones I use. I'm starting to run out of them. I bought them in Germany 10 years ago for a couple dollars for 20 and really like them, and I'm down to 2 or 3 of them left. So I need to find something that's close to those at some point in the future. This is just burning the relative shape of the barbs and the feathers where they go. Or rather stoning as opposed to burning. The burning is going to come next. This video is pretty short, and I apologize at the end. It just kind of cuts off and finishes, stops. But it is a summary of the two, and both of them were a commission piece. Someone's given them to someone else for Christmas. So I did the hen about 4 months ago. I did the drake last week, realizing that I was running out of time. There are several videos on the channel, Studio on the Lake. If you go ahead and subscribe, you can see a feather done all by itself. A couple videos on an eagle feather that appeared in the yard. It shows the process for each of these particular feathers. Same concept. Carve it, get the contour shape in there, smooth it down. Come over it with this stone in a lot of places. If you wanted to, you could stop at that point and paint it. You would see the marks that the stone left that look like a real feather. I like to burn them after that, as you see going on right here. I have no idea how many lines per inch or any of that sort of thing. I tend to burn real close on detailed feathers and a little further apart on others. Do what looks right. You'll see at the end how this the painting comes out on this. If you were doing a really fancy decorative piece, I probably wouldn't burn these in there. I would just smooth the feathers out and get the shape, and then I would go ahead and the detail would be done with paint versus the burning pen. But I really like I've almost stopped painting most of these and left them alone with the burn marks. And then a little bit of detail with the paint. Let the paint done with acrylics, and it just kind of highlights a few of the important features, so you get a representation of what the bird is. That's taking some of the burn charcoal off of it with a little wire brush, and then I can see what came out and then go back over it if it needs to be done to get a little more detail in there. Now, I will undercut a lot of these feathers. I will take a little diamond bit sometimes and actually carve off the part that has been burned in, and then repeat that to get the feather a little smoother. Here's working contour in the side. I did not burn below the part there you can see. All that was done with just a stone. And you can see what happens with the painting here shortly. So working the way towards the back of the bird, putting in the feather flows where they kind of stick up. So you can see the first pass on those is defining the major shape, and then I'll come back with a diamond bit and smooth that out a little bit, and then come back with a stone and finish off the basic flow of the feathers. It's a pretty aggressive bit, even though it's yellow and it's supposedly medium. I haven't found a whole lot of difference between the yellow and the green bits. The green is supposed to be coarse and fairly aggressive. The yellow is pretty much on a par with that. I don't see a whole lot of difference between the two of them. I see no reason to buy the green anymore, since the yellow certainly does the trick. And then they have a third one, which is even more aggressive. That would be red, and I've never messed around with those. I tend to go to more of a diamond cuts all bit for the aggressive stuff. Just a preference. Like carving tools, you can go crazy with the different bits and whatnot. I tend to stick with 3 or 4 different ones, and as they do the trick. Occasionally I'll try a new one out. Further defining the shape of that as it comes back into the tail. piece of basswood you can see is, I wouldn't consider it to be a real high quality piece. It's not a poor piece, but it does have some imperfections in it, and they don't show up. It seems to be the ones that were dried in the shed about 3 years now. They're really stable versus some stuff that I've carved in the past, which almost as soon as you're done carving it, a crack will develop in it. Haven't really seen in the last year or two any cracks developing in this wood that was air dried. It gets air dried out in the shed, and then I bring it into the studio, stick it up in the rafters there in the wood stove. Does a real nice job of getting it pretty dry. There you go. You can see the detail work there. And this one was fun to do. The feathers stick up as opposed to, they kind of curl over on the back. It's a lot more fun to carve than just a straight shape. And there's that abrupt cut to the end. That's finished painting. I did it at night at work there and set it on an end table in the corner. So minimal painting. The hen is all complete. I personally don't like the white outlining on the hen feathers, but other people seem to, so that's what we do. And there you go. The hen and drake commissions that were completed and shipped off a couple days ago. Thanks for watching this Ben with Studio on the Lake, and go ahead and subscribe. Thanks.